Think about this, scoring over 100 goals for 3 different legendary clubs, becoming Brazil's all-time leading goal scorer, leaving even the great Pelé in the rear view, a talent so immense, so dazzling, he was supposed to be the next king of world football. So why is it that after a career packed with pure magic, Neymar Jr., the prince of his generation, remains a king without a crown? This is the story of how the colossal shadows of 2 footballing gods and a whole lot of rotten luck denied the Brazilian prodigy the one prize he craved the most, the Ballon d'Or, the promise of a king. It all starts back in Brazil, with a skinny kid at Santos whose electrifying talent was just impossible to ignore. From his professional debut in 2009, Neymar wasn't just a good prospect, he was a full-blown phenomenon. He played with a joy and a cheekiness that felt like a throwback, a living, breathing example of Joga Bonito. At Santos, he was the team. He was the star who led them to a Copa do Brasil, and he won the Copa Libertadores in 2011, the club's first since Pelé's era, even scoring in the final. That same year, he won the FIFA Puskás Award for a goal so outrageously skillful it perfectly captured his genius. And get this, by the time he was just 19, he had already finished 10th in the FIFA Ballon d'Or voting. The world was watching, and the script felt like it had already been written. He was the heir apparent, the boy who would finally take the throne from Messi and Ronaldo. The promise was undeniable. A move to Europe wasn't a question of if, but which giant would land football's next global superstar. The prince in the court of the king. In 2013, Neymar made his grand entrance into European football, joining FC Barcelona. He wasn't just joining a club, he was joining a dynasty, forming one of the most lethal attacking trios in history: Messi, Suárez, and Neymar. MSN was simply a force of nature. In the 2014-15 season, they hit their peak. Barcelona conquered the treble, La Liga, the Copa del Rey, and the UEFA Champions League. Neymar was spectacular, finishing as the joint top scorer in the Champions League right alongside Messi and Ronaldo. This should have been his coronation. He was a champion of Europe, a key player on the best team in the world, playing out of his mind. And yet, when the 2015 Ballon d'Or results were announced, it was the same old story. Lionel Messi, his own teammate, won. Cristiano Ronaldo came in second, and Neymar, for all his brilliance, was third. This became the defining theme of his time at Barca. He was a prince, brilliant and beloved, but he was in the court of a reigning king. Every masterpiece he painted was hung in a gallery where a Messi original already held pride of place. For a player destined to rule, being a prince, even in a golden palace, wasn't enough. He had to escape the king's shadow.
Now, Barcelona Football Club has given one of its star players, Neymar, permission to discuss a world record transfer deal.
The record-breaking escape. Then came the summer of 2017, and the football world completely lost its mind. Paris Saint-Germain activated Neymar's €222 million release clause, a fee that didn't just break the world transfer record, it vaporized it. This was more than a transfer, it was a declaration of independence. Everyone saw it for what it was: Neymar deliberately stepping out of Messi's shadow to be the undisputed centerpiece of a massive European project, to build his own kingdom where he alone would wear the crown. In Paris, he was no longer a supporting actor, he was the main event. He was handed the keys to the city and the team. The goal was clear: dominate France, of course, but the holy grail was the Champions League. Winning it with PSG as the undisputed leader would be the final, undeniable argument for his Ballon d'Or. The stage was set. In Paris, the coronation was finally supposed to happen. Trapped in glory, broken in flesh. Neymar's time in Paris was a paradox. He was prolific, brilliant, and he won a cabinet full of domestic trophies, including 5 League One titles and a League One Player of the Year award. But the ultimate prize, the Champions League, remained painfully out of reach, and a cruel recurring theme emerged. His body, the very instrument of his genius, became his biggest opponent. The timing of his injuries was just devastating. Time and again, right as the Champions League knockout stages began, Neymar would be sidelined. In 2018, a fractured metatarsal meant he missed the crucial second leg against Real Madrid. In 2019, another foot injury kept him out of the tie against Manchester United. In 2021, a groin injury meant he missed a reunion with Barcelona. The dream of leading PSG to European glory was repeatedly shattered by moments of physical fragility. He came agonizingly close in 2020, leading PSG to their first ever Champions League final, but they ultimately fell to a powerhouse Bayern Munich side. It was his best chance, the moment his Parisian project almost paid off. The move that was meant to guarantee his rise to the throne had instead locked him in a gilded cage, a place of immense wealth and domestic success, but where the ultimate prize and the awards that come with it remain tantalizingly beyond his grasp. The burden of a nation. While his club career was a roller coaster, his journey with the Brazilian national team was a saga of its own. Here there was no Messi or Ronaldo to cast a shadow. Neymar was the undisputed talisman, the chosen one, and by the numbers, he was spectacular. He has scored 79 international goals, officially surpassing the great Pelé to become the all-time leading male goalscorer for the Seleção. It's a record of monumental importance. He delivered an Olympic gold medal on home soil in 2016, a moment of pure national joy. He also won the Confederations Cup in 2013, where he was named the tournament's best player. But the one trophy that defines a Brazilian legend, the FIFA World Cup, remained elusive. In 2014, a brutal back injury ended his tournament in the quarterfinals. In 2018 and 2022, Brazil fell at the same stage. His international career mirrors his club career in a frustrating way. Moments of individual brilliance and historic records, but without the biggest collective prize. He became Brazil's goal king, but could never quite lead them to a 6th World Cup. The prince who was promised. So, how will history remember Neymar Jr.? As a footballing genius or a prince who never became king? The truth, as it often does, lies somewhere in the middle. He's one of the few players in history to score over 100 goals for 3 different clubs. He's the highest scoring Brazilian in Champions League history. He's his nation's all-time leading goal scorer. By any objective measure, his career has been extraordinary. Yet the Ballon d'Or, that symbol of individual supremacy, escaped him. He had the misfortune of playing in the era of 2 titans. The duopoly of Messi and Ronaldo created a standard so impossibly high for so incredibly long that it overshadowed an entire generation. When he finally stepped out of Messi's shadow, his body betrayed him at the most critical moments, denying him the Champions League glory he needed to make his case. He was the heir apparent who arrived just as the kings decided they weren't ready to abdicate. A story of what ifs and almosts. What if he had stayed at Barcelona? What if he had avoided those injuries? What if he was born in any other era? He was the prince who was promised, a player of breathtaking talent who gave us countless moments of joy, but who was ultimately cost the ultimate individual prize by the shadows of 2 gods and the cruelty of fate. But that's my take. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think Neymar was robbed of a Ballon d'Or? Was it the Messi and Ronaldo effect, his move to PSG, or just plain bad luck with injuries? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more in-depth football analysis. Thanks for watching.